I would like to talk to you today about drivers driving while using a cell phone and should it be legal. More than 1 million U.S. drivers are talking on handheld cell phones, according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. In a 2008 survey by Nationwide Insurance, 67% of people admitted to using a cell phone while they were driving. Studies show that driving while talking on a cell phone is extremely dangerous and puts drivers at 4 times greater risk of a crash, said Janet Forster, President and CEO of the NSC. A study from the Harvard Center of Risk Analysis estimates that cell phone use while driving contributes in 6% of crashes, while equates to 636,000 crashes, 330,000 injuries, 12,000 serious injuries, and 2,600 deaths each year, and a tab of $43 billion, according to a statement from the NSC today. This has created an obvious concern about all cell phone safety. Dozens of countries have banned the use of handheld cell phones while driving. In the U.S., California, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Utah, Washington, and D.C., and many municipalities have fully outlawed in-vehicle handheld phone use. Dozens of states have banned cell phone use by minors and bus drivers. Whether we choose to admit it or not, driving while yakking is a distraction to many and may decrease our ability to operate the vehicle effectively. The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety analyzed the results of over 120 cell phone studies. They found that nearly all of the studies reported that some aspects of driver performance were affected by the mental distraction associated with cell phone use. Even though people are busy and claim to need the time in their car to work, talking on a cell phone while driving is dangerous and ought to be banned. Talking on a cell phone, even while using hands-free device, distracts the driver and makes them a hazard to themselves and others on the road. Using a cell phone while driving is as dangerous as driving with a blood alcohol level of 0.08, the point at which drivers are considered intoxicated in most U.S. states. In fact, some tests have suggested drivers talking on cell phones are more likely to crash than drunk drivers. Talking on the cell phone also lowers a 20-year-old driver's reflexes and reaction times to equal those of a 70-year-old person. The young often complain about older drivers and call them a hazard, considering that their cell phone habit makes them equally dangerous. Using cell phone distracts drivers. Men and women have both known to miss turns, run red lights, and even drive off the road because they were distracted by the conversation they were holding. Over the last few years, many tests have run together and gathered statistics and hard evidence on the dangers of talking on a cell phone while driving. Tests have uncovered the following information. Drivers talking on a cell phone are 5.36 times more likely to cause an accident, 18% slower to react to brake light, 17% slower to regain speed or braking, and twice as likely to rear-end the car in front of you. Then slowed reaction speed increases, stopping distance by car lengths, and slows traffic flow. Banning handheld devices does not altogether solve the problem. Clearly, hands holding a phone, or worse, texting, are hands that are not on the steering wheel. Tests run by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration showed hands-free devices to be equally dangerous as far back as 2002. But this government agency sat on the information for fear of angering members of Congress. With so much information supporting the banning of cell phone use while driving, why do people keep clinging to the right to do so? Some studies suggest people and other electronic devices causes the brain release a short spurt of adrenaline which acts like a stimulant while driving. It's also possible to become addicted to the multitasking, talking on a cell phone, and driving offers, something researchers refer to as acquired attention deficit disorder. We all like to feel busy, and many work better under pressure, sometimes even under chaotic conditions. And of course, many people genuinely are busy. However, nothing is so important or urgent that it is worth the risk to human life. The safety of yourself and others on the road must be first priority. It is important to remember that driving while talking on your cell phone, like driving drunk, puts everyone in danger, not just you. You may well consider yourself to be a perfectly safe driver, and people do. However, no one is unaffected by the distraction cell phone conversations provide. No one has the right to take someone else's life into their own hands just because they want to talk while on the phone. If a friend should call and it's really pressing, important, you can pull over while you make the call. If it's not important, you should respect other safety and make your call when you arrive at your destination. First-hand acknowledgement of this truth comes from Chris Hill, a young man with a reputation for being thoughtful and helpful. Last September 3rd, Hill was holding a cell phone conversation with a neighbor while driving. The cell phone distracted him enough that he unwittingly ran a red light. Sadly, Hill did not see Linda Boyle's car until he was already on top of her. He hit Boyle's car at 45 miles per hour. Boyle died from the injuries, and this honest, thoughtful 20-year-old with an otherwise unattained driving record was forced to plead guilty to negligence homicide and live the rest of his life with the guilt. Chris Hill's story could be yours. So could the Linda Boyle's. Be fair to yourself and others. Stop using your cell phone while you're driving and start supporting legislation that will make it illegal. Nobody wants to be in an accident, and no one wants to be the cause of an accident. Either talking on your phone while driving is nothing more than having a conversation while driving, and everyone has one point in time jumped into a conversation with a friend or fellow passengers. Texting, however, while driving should definitely be banned due to proven fact that it is worse than driving while drunk. Talking on the phone is much less hazardous and should be avoided but not outlawed. There is no difference between talking to someone through the phone and talking to someone who is sitting right next to you. Both instances are a distraction and hazardous, but due to the fact that are identical, and you can't ban talking while you cannot ban talking on the phone while driving. Scientific studies have shown that there is no difference in safety between hands-free and hands-on phone cells while driving. We have a right to talk while driving, and therefore we have the right to talk on the phone while driving. Any distraction while driving is extremely hazardous, and that includes TV playing in the background, the radio, fixing the AC, and crying babies. But no one is jumping to have those banned from the car ride. Why should a possible phone be any different? We can try and make a driving as safe as possible and ban any type of extra device that would make driving any more dangerous. But the truth is that as long as humans are the ones driving the cars, it is the humans who are going to be distracted and crash. Absolute safety on the roads is an impossible goal to achieve, and no matter how hard the government pushes to eliminate any types of distractions, people are going to constantly find new ways to take their mind off the task and injure themselves and others. Here are suggestions for using a cell phone safely in your car. Get to know your phone and its features. If you can dial a number with one key instead of 10, you're better off. Position your phone within easy reach. Bending over to reach for it takes your eyes off the road and cause you to swerve. Suspend calls in heavy traffic in bad weather. You need to focus and more under hazardous conditions. Do not take notes or look up phone numbers while driving. Enough said. Keep conversations short. Inform the person you're calling that you are in a car and hang up as soon as possible. If possible, place calls where you are at while you are not moving. Pull over where possible. Ask a passenger to help. Have someone make or take the call for you. Do not engage in stressful or emotional conversations. Leave the child support conversations for the home phone. We agree the wireless technology is terrific, but just because it seems to be everywhere doesn't mean you have to use it. You never know. The most important call of your life could be the one you never make. Thank you.